I'm like, what's his name? Walter White.
Are you?
He's very big on.
You seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
You seen Better Call Saul?
Some.
Get it watched, man.
Bored.
Listen, everyone,
we
before we
like
do
this?
an introduction, if you've seen Breaking Bad, get Better Call Saul watched.
Get it watched.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gapham, Got a Problem Mate podcast.
It's a podcast. My name's Joey Page. I'm a stand-up comedian. He's called Bilal Zafar. He's also a stand-up comedian. We're sort of best friends, but not really. If you're joining us for the first time because of who our amazing guest is today, then we really hope that you like it. And if you do, please do subscribe on YouTube and give us a nice little rating because we'd like to have you as new fans of our podcast.
Subscribing on YouTube is free and it really helps. I'm a big fan of Danny Wallace.
And if you are a big fan of Danny Wallace, we would like to become sort of future Danny Wallaces. But we need you to like us in the first place because without you guys, we're going nowhere. So get on board.
We need you guys to like us.
Yeah, we need popularity. It's a popularity contest, all this podcasting, Bilal, you know? I'm going on tour. It's my first ever UK tour and I'd really like you to be there. I'm going to the following places. On the 4th of October, I'm going to be in Hemel Hempstead. On the 11th of October, I'm going to be in Banbury. On the 14th of October, I'm going to be in London. Have you heard of it? It's quite a big place. On the 14th of November, I'm going to be in Manchester. On the 27th of November, I'm going to be in Bristol. And then in spring of 2025, I'm going to Poole, Cambridge, Leicester, Birmingham, Norwich, Margate and Brighton. If tickets sell well, I'm going to have a tour support. It's probably going to be the guy who's not saying anything next to me. But if I can't, it's just going to be me. So please buy tickets. I'd love to see you there. It's my first ever tour. Don't let me down. You can find tickets on my Linktree on my Instagram. Thank you very much.
Guys, you really, really gonna want to do this.
Nice one. I'll go first, but can I just preface this by saying that we've basically got the hot drinks equivalent of the film Speed happening because Danny has got a coffee that's really hot, and at some point it might become a temperature that you can drink, and we're going to find out about that live throughout the episode.
Yeah. So
if it drops below a certain temperature, it's getting drunk.
He's out of here.
Oh dear.
Our guest today is a polymath, a raconteur. At one point, I thought he was going to become the nation's sweetheart, but he sort of stayed at Radio X and rested on his laurels when he could have maybe gone on to be the next host of The Wall or Tipping Point like Ben Shepherd. He has a brilliant new book out, which, according to his website, is available for pre-order, but it turns out it's out now. Because I thought it was for pre-order, I obviously haven't read it. But suffice to say, it is brilliant. It's called Somebody Told Me and is about misinformation. It's the host of one of the longest running shows on Radio X and the original Yes Man. It's Danny Wallace.
Oh, hello. Oh, lovely polite applause.
Lovely intro. Today's guest, everybody, we've gone and only got a proper guest for the first time. How many episodes have we done?
About 200.
Over 70.
Yeah.
But now we've really gone and done it. Because today's guest, author, star of Assassin's Creed. That's a video game. He doesn't know about those.
I don't know about
Video game.
Unless you're in FIFA.
As you say, the original Yes Man, Jim Carrey played him in a film. That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless you don't like Jim Carrey.
Radio X's Sunday show.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
And what else? It says filmmaker. On your Wikipedia, it says education media studies.
That's correct. And it's correct. Yeah, that's it. Just media studies. Education. Media studies.
Media studies.
From primary school onwards, that was it.
It's Danny Frederick Wallace, everybody.
Oh,
thank you.
Not bad.
Birthday is
Very
16th
good.
of November. I'm 16th of October.
Oh,
I'm 1st of August, if anyone's asking. But they're
lovely.
not.
How do you find it?
Oh, it was always a school holiday. So
Oh.
as I've gotten a bit older, I really, really detest working on my birthday because I never did anything that
Quite
wasn't
right.
fun on my birthday.
No, exactly. It was
Yeah.
the whole place was a holiday on your
Yeah.
birthday.
And now,
And of course, now it's Edinburgh
Real
Fringe
life.
in August. So all his friends are away. So it's still like you're a little boy.
Oh.
yeah, and I've got no one coming to my party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for asking me.
Firstly, you have to pick the
Oh, yeah,
best
who had
intro.
the best intro?
Well, both had their strengths. You, though, Bilal, you relied a little too heavily on Wikipedia.
Yeah, but it's good, isn't it?
But you know enough about me that I thought you could freestyle it, yet you still went to Wikipedia.
I think he's nervous today, Danny.
He
That's
should
what
be.
I think it is.
He should be. So I'm going Joey.
Yes.
He said polymath. That's why. It's
Yeah.
a good word.
Yeah. And I wrote mine out like a journalist might.
He's
Yeah.
yeah.
I prepped.
Yeah.
Yours was good though. It was
was
very
good, don't you?
Thanks.
I know
yeah.
this.
good.
I know having Danny on is a big deal for you. So I don't want you to sort of crumble now
Don't
Right.
crumble.
because you've lost that.
I think I got to go because I've got a lot I need to do.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
okay.
that's
It's
fine.
gonna be okay.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Me and Danny can hold it down. We can talk about parking spots in London again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not on the podcast.
Can I say this before we get into it?
Sure.
I don't know if you've noticed the sort of fresh glow about me today.
What have you done?
Been camping all weekend.
Why'd
Oh.
you do that?
It's my girlfriend wanted
Do you
to.
like that kind of thing?
No, I hate
Me
it.
neither. Yeah.
I
yeah.
absolutely hate it. I hate camping in all its forms, and we all have to pretend that it's great and it's fun. And
Especially if your girlfriend's is, you have to pretend that it's great and it's fun.
yeah, I guess. I mean, we went camping last year for a few days. It immediately began to rain harder than it's ever rained.
Mm.
And we were all just flapping around. We didn't know what we were doing. We had electrical things and nowhere to put them in.
Yeah.
And then at night, I'm pretty sure one of the nation's mythical big cats tried to infiltrate my tent.
Can I say, I had
Please.
exactly the same thing. Something was sniffing around in a bag outside my tent.
Yeah.
Ah.
Probably a big cat.
Possibly the
I don't
Blair
think it was
Witch.
just. I don't think it was just campsite regular.
No.
No.
Oh, Bill.
I hate the idea of camping. You know what I love? A hotel.
Hotels are
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Bilal, when you're doing as well as me, I take my girlfriend to hotels quite often,
Mm.
and she was like, "Let's do something different."
In a tent. I saw a video on Instagram where this guy was camping somewhere and these ants, these big ants,
Yeah.
were walking
Oh
all
my
over the
God.
tent. And what they were doing, these are like, I think they're like, they collect leaves, right?
Oh,
And they were cutting bits out of his tent in leaf shapes
Uh-oh.
and walking about with it on their heads.
they were looking for an upgrade, weren't they? To their leaves?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But isn't that going to mess with the whole food chain thing now that they have really good quality leaves?
They'll get too comfortable because they'll have all this wonderful sort of cotton leaves,
Yeah.
like in your hotels that you talk about, the wonderful Egyptian cotton.
leaves.
That's what the ants are going for. They're creating little hotel suites, and it's not right.
Well,
That's not
can I
good.
tell you who I came across on my camping trip
Who?
trying to infiltrate my tent? He's called Occupus olens, the devil's coach horse.
Oh,
beetle.
you don't need to show me that. You know why? I live in the regions.
Oh, you do.
I live in the regions.
Ugh.
And one day I was downstairs and I saw this thing I'd never seen before in my life and never want
Yeah.
to again. And it was that. And when
The
you Google
Occupus
this thing,
olens.
and it says the devil's coach horse, and then you read more about it, and what it does is it arches its back
Yeah,
up like a
It was-
scorpion,
It was
and,
doing that.
and it spits acid
Yeah, it was doing that in my tent.
in your tent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
S-
on the
Spitting
just on the
acid?
ground sheet because
yeah, but still.
you know I zip up my bedroom.
You zip up your bedroom.
Yeah,
gotta
so
zip
they
up your
can't get
bedroom.
in.
What, are they big?
It's
in
about
your
that big.
head, yeah, they're enormous, but
It's
no,
about
they're
that big.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
Or
like.
mine was very small.
Oh, mine was that. Big.
Was it?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
even on a cold day.
We've got a feature, Danny, which is very important. It's called Vet the Guest. We check if our guest is appropriate to stay on the show or if they have to leave.
And
Yeah,
we
I
have
think
had
so.
some guests leave that didn't make the cut. Bruno Brooks, Pat Sharp.
Oh, I
just,
see.
You know.
Yeah,
Mm.
they've escaped U-Tree, but they wouldn't escape you.
Yeah. So those episodes didn't go out.
Yeah.
Please answer honestly. Joey can tell if you're lying. He did a course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With who? With the CIA or?
Well, it cost me $4,500, and it turns out Bilal runs the course, which is coincidence.
5 questions. Please answer honestly.
I will answer honestly.
Question 1. What's your best holiday?
Oh, what a nice question. My best holiday that I've been on, or one that is just, I'd like to do that as a holiday.
Yeah,
Whatever it means to you, to be honest.
Best holiday. Probably, I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but I would go to Switzerland a lot. Half my family are Swiss, and there was a swimming pool about an hour's walk away, and it had a water slide. Just a simple water slide, not like one in a park, but an actual, like a flumed type thing. And I must have done that 3,500 times. And it was the most exercise I ever got. It was the best I ever felt. It was the healthiest. It was man battling water and conquering it. And for some reason, that's popped into my head. So I would say the water slides of my youth.
Can I pitch you
Which-
going back as a documentary I did to Channel 5?
I think they'd love it.
Okay.
I was going to say, it sounds like Water Slides of My Youth would be a band that wouldn't get played on Radio X.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question number 2. I
2.
know, of course, dinner winner's a big part of your radio show,
Yes.
so this is quite important. Talk me through your pasta bake.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not sure I've made a pasta bake, but I
What?
can improvise one for you.
Well, okay.
Well,
He hasn't made a pasta
Yeah,
bake.
because he's like, big time public figure.
They don't make pasta bakes.
You can't have that many carbs and cheese on a regular
Oh.
basis, I'd
pasta bakes
imagine.
are, it feels a bit route one. Do you make a sofrito? Do you know the sofrito?
Who's that?
That's when you chop up your onions and your lettuce and your celery, not lettuce, your onions and your carrot and your bits and bobs, and then you fry that, and that creates a lovely base.
I've never known. What's it
Oh,
called?
Sofrito.
Sofrito.
He only knows Dolmio.
Yeah,
I know Dolmio, yeah.
because
Did you know that Heinz have started doing pasta sauces?
Heinz
Oh.
have started doing some pasta. So we got to start that
They're
again.
thinking out the box. Fried onions is the greatest smell in the world. That's why.
Yes.
That's why you
Yeah.
need to
Does it
start.
hurt your
with it.
eyes though?
No.
You're all right with it.
Yeah, I remain unmoved.
Okay.
But fried onions, it's a gateway to anything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The Italian food, the curry,
Now,
posh food, not posh food, all starts with fried onions. And you walk,
Sofrito.
you walk down like a suburban cul-de-sac. I don't know why you're there. It's a cul-de-sac, but let's say you take a wrong turning and you go down a suburban cul-de-sac.
that's where I grew up. I'm just reliving the water slides of my
Well,
youth.
remember 6 p.m. when some people would have their kitchen windows
Yeah.
open and you would smell fried onion and you'd be like, where will this journey take us?
Hmm.
And then
Bloody hell.
you'd break in and help yourself.
So how would you do your pasta bake?
Wait, just quickly. On that onion thing, my girlfriend told me this. I don't know if this is true.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not going to be made to
You
look
talk
like
about your
an idiot on
girlfriend a
this.
lot. I hope you've got a
Ah,
girlfriend.
I haven't.
Yeah.
It's a cover for going camping on my own. When you look like this, you need a cover story for that sort of thing. No, tell me that it depends on how
Do you have
slice
like
the
do
onions.
you have like in Home Alone? Do you have like a female mannequin in your, and you shine the torch around?
Yeah. We're just watching EastEnders. Though. Depending on how you cut the onion, depends on the flavour of the sofrito.
Is that right?
I think so.
Is
I
that
thought
right?
You knew,
I think
you
he's
sound
lying.
like you
I
knew.
think he's lying about this.
That's why you're supposed to eat a banana the way you'd sort of eat a pasty. Like you're not supposed to eat it top down. You're supposed to eat through the middle because that way you cut through the seeds or grains and the taste is nicer. That's why monkeys do it,
Ah.
What?
apparently.
Wow.
We got to go get bananas after this.
Yeah.
Try them.
I'm going to go back to Tesco for the third time today.
You went before.
Got my breakfast on the way in.
Oh dear.
Well, I suppose you would cook the pasta, al dente if possible.
All right.
You do your bolognese, you whack them together, you put them in a preheated baking tray. Probably 180 in a fan oven.
How long?
Well, to bake with the cheese, I would say, I'm going to say 18 minutes.
Really?
And I stand by it.
What kind of cheese?
Well, you would use your Parmesan or a mix of Parmesan, cheddar, and perhaps pecorino.
Oh bloody hell!
Mm. Can I just butt in?
But I've never made one.
Why not though?
Why have I
don't
never
you
made
make
one?
a pasta bake? I find it so joyful.
Once I've made the pasta, I've made the pasta. Why would I then bake
Oh, you
it?
don't want
Mm.
the melted cheese?
It's an extra 20. I want to get in.
He wants to get
Okay.
straight in.
Yeah.
Um,
Go on, sorry.
Slicing lengthways
Yeah.
creates a milder, sweeter flavour. Whereas cutting the onion crossways against the grain creates a stronger, more pungent flavour.
I go against the grain. Pungent, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what you want.
That's what you want in any recipe. Every recipe book, every thing should just start with the word pungent.
Everything.
And then I'll
Danny's new
pungent
book,
pasta bake.
the Pungent Classics,
The
is out
pungent
now.
diet.
Question number 3.
Three.
If you could read to one animal, which one?
Ooh, well, it depends. Am I trying to impart my wisdom or am I trying to soothe the beast? If it's wisdom, probably a dog, because they would look at you and you would sort of assume they're impressed by whatever it is you're saying and you would hope they would learn. If it's to soothe the beast, I would say the panda.
Yeah, one of your books or
Not if I want them to sleep. It's exciting.
that's good. How many books have you written?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Not really.
Oh, because you've done all the kids' books.
Yeah,
Thank you for sending that over for my nephew. He
Not
read
at
it
all.
super quick.
good.
He's a really
Mm.
good
He's
writer.
a talented lad.
He really, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're not a soccer fan, but
Soccer. Mm.
if you were a footballer,
Yep.
soccer star,
Yeah.
and you were one that scored many goals,
Oh, yeah, I would be, yeah.
golazos as they're known in other parts of the
Yes,
world,
of course.
what would your signature goal celebration be?
The spoon.
Okay.
I would do the spoon. I don't mean spooning players. I would see the ball and I would treat it as if it were an egg. And I would hold my spoon aloft. I'd have to I could sell these, that's the thing as well. but it would be a fictional spoon. But my powers of mime are so strong that people would believe they'd seen a spoon. They'd all be talking about it afterwards and going, "Did he have a spoon or was he pretending?" And they go, "No, I think he had a spoon." And then I would dig the ball and then using my fast footballer's feet, kick it so it looked like I'd flicked it, and the place would go nuts.
That's after you've scored the goal.
Oh, it would have to be.
Yeah.
It would. 'Cause you
I couldn't do it
And
like
then-
from the kickoff.
And then people would do what I did on a stag do when I saw an old DJ DJing at a pool party. People would shout at you, "Spoony!"
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Spoonie.
I did
The
that
only
to
annoying
DJ
thing is
Spoony once.
There's already a DJ Spoony.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't work for me because people would naturally want to associate my show with the Spoony thing. And last
Your
thing I
show?
needed-
You're a
Are you-
footballer.
Well, I'd
It's
do
retired.
both.
And
Oh, you do a show,
Well,
right?
you play
okay.
football on Saturdays, don't you?
Yeah.
sometimes Sundays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Forget it.
You have to pre-record that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem, yeah. And then there'd be another player who'd be the fork.
My enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, my old enemy.
That's a great answer.
But what score did he get?
Oh, we're not done.
Oh, we got one more.
We have
question.
one more
Okay,
question.
5.
It's a new edition, which we had last time. But what is the best juice
It's a
drink?
new edition we had last time.
Yeah, that's true. That didn't. It's new edition for the new
I've been
current
digging
series.
Bilal out for not writing original questions for each guest.
because these questions are really good and really important. So
Yeah.
what's the best juice drink you have secretly?
Why secretly?
Because you don't want to be known to drink juice drink because it's very
Who's
unhealthy.
sneaking around
You.
trying
the
unusual
R
juices?
Whites lemonade.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. The most
Our
unusual-
YouTube numbers just totally dropped them when I mentioned R Whites. People under the age of 30.
Yeah,
Let's
one
go,
45-year-old man nodded. A juice. Oh well, of course, the dragon fruit. I can't tell anyone about that because it's so mysterious.
Juice drink, dragon fruit juice drink.
Yeah,
go. What does it taste of?
dragon fruit.
What does dragon fruit
Can I
taste?
just step in here
Oh, okay.
and say about a time when I was at a festival and I had a big carton of Umbongo
Oh yeah.
and
That's a good juice
I cut
drink.
the top off and poured some rum in it, put a big straw in, and then with a Sharpie put an R in front of the
Lovely.
and then tried to offer some to Jarvis Cocker, who was DJing, who quite rightly turned it down because anything could have been in there.
Anything could have been in there.
Yeah, but I bet he loved Rumbungo.
Rumbongo.
Rum
I think he
Rumbongo.
appreciated it without.
Did he look
sampling
happy
It.
or angered?
I think he's just quizzical.
So far, Joey has told me about his camping, which I loved. He has told me about a stag do who's invited on.
It was actually my own, but I thought that we didn't have the backstory to go into why I've got a girlfriend now and not.
So
He had a marriage, but
well,
It's gone now.
he's talked of various healthy, I assume, relationships, and also that he's been to rock and pop festivals. And I feel that Joey has a rich and vibrant cultural life that he enjoys and deserves. You're very closed off and guarded. Look at your body language now. You're hiding your mouth. Why won't you share with me any of
What
your?
do you wanna know?
I just want to know how you spend your time. What's in your fridge?
crumbly Lancashire cheese.
Crumbly.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Cheddar,
So just cheese.
Feta.
So lots of cheese,
milk,
dairy products.
Wow.
some pasta
No
sauce
wonder you're
that's
not
left.
Did you
Sleeping.
recently come into possession of a cow?
Maybe.
Where's all this dairy coming from?
I like cheeses.
Yeah. Okay.
What else do I have? Some
Rubicon.
chicken that I've marinaded for
Oh.
tonight.
Okay.
In this Nando's marinade, which I don't really care about, but the wife likes Nando's.
Oh,
Now he's
got a
dropping
wife.
in the
Now
wife.
there we go.
Now he
He's got a
drops
wife,
it in
yeah.
because he sees he's
Yeah.
intimidated. What time do you set your alarm for in the morning?
Oh, he doesn't.
8.
8. Why?
It's good time to get a bit more 30 minutes of snoozing.
Okay, good. So you start the day by
So
treating
hang, you got
yourself.
up at 8:30 and you still didn't get it till.
I didn't know, so we were supposed to have a meeting before, and I didn't actually know that. It was just my mistake. And then
Basically,
they were all here at
it was
10.
the big Danny Wallace is coming on meeting.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
He didn't show up for.
What loyalty?
Well, I know
card-
him.
What loyalty cards do you have?
Tesco.
Yeah.
Costa.
Yeah.
I don't use it. That's it. I should have
Just
Sainsbury's.
2?
Yeah.
Just 2 loyalty
What have you
cards?
got, Danny?
How many you got?
I'm not a loyal guy.
Uh,
Very transactional.
Yeah.
With my loyalty for supermarkets and things.
but you've got a lot of points.
I got some points.
Do you save your points up for Christmas?
No, I have a friend who does.
I do that.
Do you?
Yeah.
What
I mean,
are you
this will
saving
be
up
the
for?
first year, but
You're saving up for a turkey?
well, just the Christmas part when you've got people coming over, you get those.
Yeah.
The oven bits, the
Rumbungo.
party oven bits. It'll be for that.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
I've never seen you in a hat.
I wear caps.
You do?
Yeah, on this podcast sometimes.
What's your favourite cap?
This baseball cap, this black one.
Why?
Nice fit, cool style.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some more, though.
Yeah.
I've never seen you in a hat, I don't think.
No, I don't.
You don't partake?
Don't wear many hats. Not anymore.
Oh.
Not since the incident.
Oh.
I like a hat, always, pretty much. I went for a horrible period of wearing a Pete Doherty style hat for 10 years longer than I should have.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I reversed your feature on you there.
It's
I asked you
okay.
those
It's
questions,
okay. The
but,
final
He
question
can't help himself with the interview.
was, what's the best juice drink?
Dragon
What's the
fruit.
fun?
And do you know what brand that is?
No.
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 I'm going to get some of that.
Do it.
What's the score?
Danny Wallace, you scored 3,700 points on Vet the Guest. That's very high. You can
Great.
stay on the podcast.
Thank
You
you.
can now speak
Freely.
to Joey Page.
Okay.
But
good.
before
Not
that,
freely.
but before that, how hot is your coffee?
Yeah, how
at
hot's
this
your
point?
coffee?
It's too hot.
Got a
hot,
new
so-
feature, everyone, called How Hot's Your Coffee? Comment on the YouTube, how hot is your coffee?
Mm.
If you put a thermometer in there.
Yeah. And what is your favourite juice drink, please?
What's your favourite juice drink?
And why do we never see you in a hat?
So thank you very much for joining us.
Can I answer that on behalf of my brother, who's a big fan of yours? So
Yes.
I imagine he will answer.
Yeah. Yes. yeah.
His head's too big.
Too big for a hat.
He has got a huge nut on him.
Isn't there? Because there's shops for big and tall men called things like Big and Tall. Is there not one called Big Head?
It would just be called Tom's.
Tom.
'Cause he's got such a big
What
head.
is it called? There's a suit
High and
shop.
Mighty?
High and Mighty.
High and
Me and my
Mighty.
brother, who's like the same size as me, went in there once
Yeah.
and they laughed at us. I'm not joking.
Really?
They laughed when we walked in and they said, no,
No,
it's
this
not.
isn't for you.
This is High and Mighty,
Yeah.
not small and
but
pathetic.
maybe
And
that's-
you only
maybe
wear
it's-
sportswear.
And you wear sports.
They only wear sportswear.
But their attitude was high and mighty. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what
it
they were going
was.
for.
It was.
Maybe it's a shop for arrogant men.
Is that still around?
High and mighty.
Yeah.
Do you want me to Google it?
Yeah, could we go High and Mighty? See if they laugh
Because there
at
must
me
still
and you.
be must still be big men.
Yeah, but they use Giacomo.
Oh, they
Oh,
do.
it's taken over.
Giacomo have got that market.
Yeah. Would you do an advert for Giacomo?
Thanks.
That's not an insult. Jamie Redknapp does it.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, and he's
There's
like
Bad Rhino now.
he's the man
Oh.
everyone wants to be.
Oh, okay.
Sketches, Giacomo.
Sketches. Have you got a Sketches?
got
deal on
Sketches?
Radio X?
I don't have any sketches.
Hmm.
Are they called skeetches in America?
What?
Aren't they?
You would know. You've done more in America.
They're probably not.
I saw a documentary years ago, way before I knew you, where you were talking about the Freemasons, and there was a building that looked like an owl.
Yes.
But it didn't really.
No. No, it didn't. Not at all.
It was just a building.
I can do a name drop now.
Yeah,
Go
go
on.
on, please.
Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher both independently told me they also saw that documentary because they used to watch those things on the tour bus.
Wow.
And then they watched this one, and Liam was like, I know you. And then he said, you said that a building looked like an owl. It didn't fucking look like an owl. And I was like, Liam, I know it didn't. But what was I supposed to do? The man was telling me. He was saying, this big building in the center of Austin, Texas, looks like an owl. I'm going to show it to you.
Yeah.
And he said it was built by the Bilderberg Group, the Bavarian Illuminati,
Yeah.
in order to tower above America's 11th biggest city to say, we are watching you always. And then I'm just standing there looking at a building that doesn't look like an owl.
From the corner, I remember you had to look at the corner of
You
it.
just squint and not ever have seen an owl.
That must have been fun doing those sorts of documentaries.
Conspiracies. Yes, it was fun. It was fun. It was also tiring because
Oh, yeah?
when you speak to conspiracy theorists, it's hard because they talk to you in like footnotes and they're constantly referring to things you could not possibly have read or documents no one's ever seen. And it's all trust me on this. And also, it looks like an owl when it doesn't. But I'm polite, and so I have to go, yeah.
Is it this one?
Yeah, there it is.
That
I
does
think.
look like an owl.
Well, it looks
Now
more
that
like
you
an owl
talk
now.
about it.
I think we were looking for it from the back. But yeah, but those
Yeah.
conspiracy shows, you would do an hour.
What was that
talking
called, the series?
Conspiracies.
It was called, right.
And the thing was, it was made when Sky didn't really have much content, and so they just repeated it like 5 times a day.
Oh.
So everyone saw some
Yeah.
of it, and people would run up to me on the street because they thought they'd misunderstood, or maybe they hadn't watched the end, where I would go, anyway, it's not true. So they thought that I was really believing all these things. But every episode was like, hello, my name is Danny Wallace. Welcome to Conspiracies. Tonight, the Titanic, did it really sink, or was it swapped for its sister ship, the Olympic? No, it wasn't. No. Good night. But with 45 minutes in the middle
Yeah.
Yeah.
of old men, a lot of old men.
Did you feel pressured to challenge them, or like Louis Theroux is very good at
letting them
nearly getting killed, basically?
Yeah, I would joke with them. So I would sort of point out if I had, the space to do it, the ludicrousness of what they'd just said, just by sort of repeating it. And they would either dig in at that point, but they would always end up liking me. Like Alex Jones, the world's #1 conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah.
We got on. And I just found the other day, I was looking in some old book and I remembered him giving me a $1 bill on which he'd written his phone number. Oddly, right next to the all-seeing pyramid with the eye.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe he's in on it. And saying, call me at some point. But I found it the other day. It was actually a $20 bill. So he was starting to do well because I interviewed him the year YouTube started, when he went from being a crazy guy in a garage to being the man who basically,
That's what you're like with Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That unleashed
Being
me.
You're
a
the
guy
Alex
in a
Jones of
garage.
Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember him from the John Ronson
Bilderberg.
documentary, and I might have seen him on yours, maybe.
Yeah. You'd
Um,
have heard him.
and
if
he
you'd
was like
seen
a
it.
fun guy.
Yeah, he was unusual because he was so loud. Oh my God. I mean, I was exhausted after just a couple of days with him because he's always shouting. He's always very angry. He can go from 0 to a rage in seconds, partly to, as part of his shtick. But it was the last night and I was sort of done. I was like, okay, great. So we finished filming. Alex, pleasure. And he's like, I think we're going to dinner. And I was like, are we? And I went to the director and I said, can I ride with you guys? And he was like, yeah. And then Alex went, Danny, get on the truck. And then I had to go and sit in his truck with him. And as we're going, he flips open the central bit and brings out a can, opens it, starts drinking a light beer. And he goes, you're very brave to drive with me. And I said, I wanted to go, what, because you're drinking? And I went, oh, yeah, why is that? And he went, yeah, they tried to get me recently. And I said, who tried to get you?
Yeah.
And he just looked at me as if to say, you know who. And I said, how did they try and get you? And he said, they sent a tornado. And they flipped his truck. And I'm just on my own with him. And I just go, I didn't realize they could do that. Which I think is fine because I didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure
an
I do
honest
still.
reaction.
I was just honest. I was like, I didn't realize they could
There's
do
much
that.
easier ways to take him
And-
out, right?
Yeah.
And
It's like,
Send a tornado.
it's like the CIA have watched all the Bond films and gone, don't just shoot him. Let's send a
Let's chase
tornado and all manner of weather incidents to really make sure we get him.
That's amazing, isn't it?
crucially, did you find out what was in his fridge?
In Alex Jones's
Yeah.
fridge. I don't think there would have been much in there, to be honest.
Just some light beers.
I think, and I can, I'm saying this, this is just my theory. I think he runs on different things. I think he finds
Right.
his energy elsewhere.
He's a sun
Red
eater.
Bull.
He's yes, okay, we'll say that. He gets his energy from natural sources.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. When did you last do a documentary? Ages ago now, right?
I last did a documentary. I don't even know. I guess I did some Horizons and stuff like that a while back.
Was it something you'd do more of?
I think this is Bilal. What Bilal's been working up to is asking you to come and work on a documentary idea that he's got.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always open to strong ideas.
I want to do one about the mysterious giant cats killing the campers.
Oh,
That nearly
the
got
big
Joey.
cats of the regions.
Big cats of the regions.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you've got 2 interviewees here already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when my theory is that it is actually just a giant, one of those beetles.
Oh, right.
Devil's coach horse.
Coach horse beast.
A giant
beast.
one.
Hmm.
Mythical beasts of East Anglia.
Yeah. There's loads. I've got an uncle in East Anglia.
Oh, you
Could be
do?
him. Could be him.
See,
You,
a rich
right?
and vibrant life, and you give me nothing. You don't tell me anything about you. It's just, here's another question, here's anher question.
Yeah.
He's telling me about uncles in East Anglia.
He's told you a lot, yeah.
Basically, I'm just trying to audition for,
What?
the wider audience. Might be
Yeah.
like, this guy's a good presenter. Let's get him on something else.
Yeah.
You're flunking the audition.
He's
here.
opening up to people,
Oh.
right? He's opening up to people. He's talking about
By the way.
a marriage that didn't work out.
Yeah, he talks about that a lot.
And
It's cheaper than therapy.
You just mentioned that your nephew is good at reading.
Yeah.
He's really.
And that you got loads of cheese in your fridge.
I've got loads of cheese. Yeah.
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 Danny, when you did the Yes Man, did you ever imagine that a guy called Peter Price-Whittle, who I went to school with, would show up at one of my stand-up gigs many years later? And when I said to him, "What have you been doing with your life?" he said, "I just do Yes Man now, innit?" So what do you mean? He said, I just say yes to everything. I'll just do that now.
Good for him. And was he?
I don't know where he is now. That was
Is
about
that
10 years
good?
ago. That is true. No, but
we don't know where he is now, so we're going to be careful.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, he might be inside. That's good. No, I get a lot of lovely stories from people who decided to say yes more and who changed their lives. For a long time, I was mainly getting stories from young British men who had fallen in love with Scandinavian women and moved to Scandinavia. It was a real theme. It was weird. It was like a trope in my life. I was going, okay, yeah, great. And I remember
I could see that happening to you if you weren't married.
Oh, yeah, if you weren't married. What could have been?
Right.
Mm.
Shall I text her?
I'll tell her it's over.
I'm off to Bergen.
You can have all the cheese in the fridge. I'm off.
I got one nice one from a lady of certain years whose husband had gone through like the cliched midlife crisis, all the stuff that we joke about, the sports car.
Likes Clarkson's farm.
Yeah, all of that stuff. And left her. And she was sort of, kids were grown up and she was like doing this job that she didn't really enjoy. And she just decided to say yes to everything else. And it ended up in Italy meeting one of those people that's just full of life and fun. And now she's in a sports car with him and going down the Riviera somewhere and was getting married and invited me to their wedding, which I would have liked to have gone to. But it might be weird.
Whereas you said yes to coming on here, and look what that's got you.
I know. I'm in a place that feels like it was last inhabited by foxes.
Yeah, maybe.
But with good soundproofing.
With
soundproofing.
wonderful soundproofing.
They have a podcast. When I asked you to be our guest on this, and we got it all confirmed, I was double checking with you last night, but I knew that you'd be here because I think you're very
a man of honor.
well organized and a man of honor.
I'm a trustworthy gent.
Because to say you work hard, well, that is somewhat of an understatement. Haha. You've done so. Like, how long does it take you to write one of your the latest book you got out? How long is that as a project?
Are you asking how many pages it is?
Is it? Yeah.
It does. A lot depends on the length of the
What size
words.
is the font?
It's good question. It's probably a 10, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, well, maybe.
Because if you do it any bigger, you think it's going to attract thick people.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd read it if it was a 12.
They all take as long as they take. There's no real answer to it. This one probably took a little bit longer, just because there was quite a lot of legal stuff we had to check.
All right.
As I talk about a few people, or I hint at a few people, ex sort of colleagues or people I know from the world of entertainment or comedy, who perhaps after lockdown started to have ideas that. That's not even true, is it? Started to use ideas that I don't think they believed in order to make. Well, as an example, that we're in that sort of ballpark.
Yeah.
You know, but to grift and make money off people, which I thought was, I think
it
it's
works
disgraceful.
though.
It does work. It's worth you having a go at.
Well, I'm worried about my dad going down like a sort of, because he's discovered YouTube now, where he watches this. He's watching it right now.
Hello.
But then, he'll get into some old Jim Davidson footage. Then he's watching Jim Davidson's like current,
very
news
good
stuff.
Ustream, do you know Ustream?
Oh yeah, Ustream. Yeah,
and then
it's real British comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Katie Hopkins videos, and I don't.
Well,
he doesn't understand how
tells
the
it like it
algorithm-
is.
He doesn't understand how the algorithm works. That he's going to get brainwashed if he carries on.
He just thinks all YouTube is that. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, controversial people, aren't they?
Yeah.
Twats.
But his algorithm is
Not your dad.
that.
Sorry, I meant the other people.
his algorithm now is that and this show,
Oh,
which
Yeah.
is quite a Venn diagram.
well, he'll be very confused now because he'll be going, that did look like an owl.
Yeah, but I think it's a slippery slope
It is a slippery slope, and loads of people are sliding
Slipping.
down it.
What
and
about
slipping down.
Calvin Robinson? He's good
Who's that?
because he's a man of the Lord.
Well, he's a man of the Lord.
Yeah.
Is he like a British Jim
He's
Baker?
like this vicar. He's got his own church going,
Yeah.
and he's like,
As they normally often do if they're vicars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of different.
Right.
I think they wouldn't let him in the normal church.
Yeah.
That's when I start asking questions. But he's in some unusual branch of the church. He's now leaving the country.
Where's he going? He didn't say.
I think
Where-
he's
with
got some
P. Diddy?
links with some very unusual church in America somewhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's probably going there.
Very
But
cool.
I don't know.
I'm going to guess at Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
Arkansas.
That sort of ballpark.
Joey just did that because he knows how to pronounce Arkansas. Lots of people would have said Arkansas.
Arkansas.
But
Oh, is
Arkansas
that the same
a,
word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arkansas is a clever thing to drop in.
Thank you.
Not at all.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce the Heinz tomato sauce?
Oh,
Heinz tomato sauce.
no. Like
no, the actual
tomato
thing.
ketchup.
How would you say it?
How do I say ketchup?
Yeah.
Like that?
Ketchup. I
Ketchup.
think I've been saying it wrong.
He's been saying it wrong. We
How
found
you
that out
been saying
last
it?
week.
I'm saying ketchup.
Ketchup.
I said
Ketchup.
ketchup, and he was like,
Chup.
"What?" And I got
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
embarrassed in front of our guest.
Yeah, and now you're doing it again.
Ketchup.
Normally it's me that gets him, makes a fool of himself on this podcast. But
I can
it's
only
twice in
imagine.
2 weeks now.
I can only imagine how embarrassing that must
I'm on a
be.
bad run.
Yeah.
Everything's going wrong.
You've got to fight back.
And you're wearing the same jumper as last week.
Yeah, but I like it. You
It's
got
good.
a Bengal cat.
I do.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
I'm not going to deny it.
Don't say nice. You hate
No,
cats.
that's a nice. If you're gonna have a cat, that's a nice cat.
You don't know what it is.
I do. It looks like a Bengal tiger.
He's right.
Okay.
You're not
You
going to
win
catch him
this
out
one.
there.
All right. He hates
Um,
cats.
lucky
Yeah,
guess.
she's wonderful. She's, she's not afraid to get me to do everything for her.
They're mad though, those cats.
They are mad. It's
But
frustrating
genuinely.
because she is a predator if she wanted to be. It's just that she weighs the same as an apple, so it's a very frustrating life for her.
Yeah.
Ideally, she'd tear me to pieces
Oh.
with her love.
So how long does a children's book take for you to write?
Well, again, it depends on the length of the words, and they all take as long as they take to refer you to my
Right,
previous answer.
Yeah.
But you've got
Well, can I ask a question off the back of that, rather than you having to answer the same question again?
Sure.
How
How long does a radio show take?
What does your like process look like? Like, do you do X number of hours a day? Like, what's your writing routine?
you seem very disciplined. I think that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at.
It's
We
a
need
form
more
of
of that
guilt.
now.
It's a form of guilt because for 20 plus years, I've just relied, as we all do, relied on myself to keep things going and to come up with ideas. And then you have to come up with the idea, and then you have to sell the idea, and you have to make the idea good, and then you have to make sure people see the idea. So it's a lot of stuff to do, but it's a form of Catholic guilt without being Catholic. It's like I always feel like I should be doing something.
Mm.
I get very restless. I feel guilty if I'm not doing something, which is why I do so many things, because some things will go quiet for a bit. And so you go over here and you do that for a while,
Yeah,
and then maybe
right.
that goes quiet and you go back here. So you got to keep moving.
And do you like set out your day? I'm going to do like half an hour on this, or like 2 hours on this. Or
No,
do you
it's
just
whatever
go-
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So there'll be a bunch of different deadlines, and you've got to get to that bit. But I'll if it's writing, I'll be happy with 2,000 words.
Okay.
I'll be like, okay, good, that's good.
And that's in a
That's
year.
loads of words.
That's in
Yeah,
it. Yeah. And if it's a kid's book,
Doesn't really matter.
well, I'll try and do a chapter if I can.
Yeah.
because they're shorter
Mm.
and the font is bigger, as you pointed
Yeah.
Yeah,
out.
massive.
Pictures as well.
And you
which
can
I
use
like.
lots of loud words, and then you can say that one has to be bigger on the page, and then that takes up half a page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty soon you're done.
Yeah, that's how I used to do essays.
If you're enjoying this episode and you would like me and Bilal to come up with a kids book, then please.
They don't want that, man. Some of the things you've said on here, they don't want that.
It should be about a pair of rascals, one of whom likes camping, the other one doesn't really want to, because where do you get the cheese?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, see, that is good.
And so Joey, who's recovering from a failed relationship, wants to go camping
Is
with
that
Bilal.
going to kids book?
Yeah. And
Learn
and then
about it early.
But
kids.
he's got this his dad is really into conspiracy theories.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's rough around the edges, but you'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you've
Yeah.
left your wife because you want to go to Scandinavia.
I mean, a Bergen girl, a good Bergen girl.
Bergen girl.
Where they make the dairy, where they make the cheeses.
There you go.
Now,
Yes.
have you got a problem that you need solving this week, Bilal? Because that is what the podcast is about primarily.
Not really.
No, I have
I'm
got
all right.
something, and it is kind of connected to the question that I just asked.
Yeah.
You touched on it by being like self-employed and like having to bring the bread home for yourself and all that kind of stuff. You always have to keep busy because you don't know where the next bit of work's coming from as such. I think it's just how a self-employed person's mind operates if you've been doing it for a number of years, right? But I think that has now bled into my personal life where I'm always trying to look at what's next rather than enjoying what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Like so I was camping this weekend and then I was like, right, it's going to be a nice day Sunday, so we need to make sure we get back in time to go to the beach. But it's like, enjoy, like I'm always trying to like
get to the next bit.
Get to the next bit.
Yeah.
So have you got any advice on how to be a bit more in the moment?
Only the most obvious thing in the world, which is that you have to sort of force yourself to, I suppose. You enjoy it. Like I was thinking the other day, I did so much traveling in my 20s and 30s that I ended up in places that I would never have planned to go, never expected to go, never thought about going to, never particularly wanted to, but got there and was like, this place is amazing. I remember being really excited.
Give us an example.
I remember thinking, I'm going to Tel Aviv. And I'd never in my life thought, I want to go to Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what to expect. But then through work, I ended up going to Tel Aviv. And it was great. Like I say, I had no idea what to expect, didn't know what I was going to eat, where I was going to stay, who I was going to meet. And moments like that I really enjoyed. But also I think I didn't enjoy enough at the time. And there's less evidence of it because in the, 10, 20 years ago, you weren't taking 1,000 photos.
But you were being in the moment. Then,
you were being in the moment, but then you forget.
Yeah, but you don't want to spend all your time vlogging it.
No, I don't want to be a vlogger.
Force yourself to be in the moment.
Yeah.
All right?
Pop that phone away. Stop researching today's episodes.
Exactly.
Yes.
I do have. So basically, I have a listener's problem.
Oh, yeah.
Which I can go to.
Fantastic.
But it is from my wife, and she does take ADHD meds now, which she won't mind me saying. So it's a very long email.
Okay.
She wrote to our MP recently. It was 2,000 words.
Oh, dear.
He hasn't replied.
That's a good day's work, though.
That's a good day's work.
Yeah.
She really, it's...
Do you want me to get you some of these ADHD meds? Get it done by lunchtime.
Yeah. They're helping her. It's great, but my goodness, it's different.
Uh-oh. Are you saying that she clacks on? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying there's a time in the morning.
This is him trying to get to Scandinavia.
Early afternoon.
Earlier than...
Get the excuses in.
Early afternoon, there's a time when her and my cat are perfectly in sync.
Oh, lovely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're both weighed the same as an apple and a natural born predator.
They hear a bird out and they both turn at exactly the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah. That's got to be uncomfortable for you because you're easily startled.
It's scary.
I think that's because he's done the podcast with me for a while.
This listener's problem.
Watch out. Oh, he did. Please.
Hey, guys. It starts with Ik heb een probleem.
Dutch.
Oh. Wow.
I am learning to speak Dutch.
I noticed that she didn't start with, hey, guys, love the show.
No, she does.
We have got a problem with those sort of correspondence.
Oh, okay.
I am learning to speak Dutch, and it feels like nobody in my life is taking me seriously.
Oh.
I mean, that's the crux of it. It's
unhealthy
quite
relationship.
I'll get to the other
Toxic
bit.
Hang on, wait. Nobody's taking her seriously about the Dutch or about
my
anything?
husband doesn't understand it either because he says Dutch people hate small talk, and most of them can speak English anyway. So who are you even going to talk to?
Those are good points, though.
Good point.
They're very straightforward and to the point, aren't they? The Dutch.
As for your criticisms of her new hobby.
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to be supportive, but like it is like why?
Do you go to Holland a lot? To the Netherlands?
We've been once.
You've been once. And you fell in love with the place, presumably. And,
it's really nice, yeah.
And want to learn the language.
But we spoke English to people.
Yes.
And like I said, there was no small talk. So,
what did you say? Two spliffs, please.
Well, the problem with this is that this is really this isn't about Dutch.
No.
This isn't about Dutch. This isn't about hobbies. This is about a toxic relationship.
Oh yeah,
where she's crying out for help. And she's using an example from her life, which is a husband in this case.
Not taking her seriously, which must be horrible to be marginalised in a relationship.
Think about it, the only thing she's really in sync with is a cat, and that's only once a day.
When they look out the window violently at a bird.
And then they both go back to what they were doing.
So it's really, what is your problem? It's not her problem, it's what's your problem.
So am I not giving her enough time, do you mean, or something? Or is it...
You're reflecting, you're coming up with more questions.
She can feel your cynicism.
What is it about the Dutch that you fear?
I just don't trust them.
Mm,
I think they're dangerous.
Too tall.
Too tall. There is. So she has also just started learning about coding, right?
Yeah.
But that's like better, right? That's
But
more
why can't she do
useful.
both? What if she becomes like she's just essentially broadening her horizons? Can't say it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Broadening her horizons, and she's learning. She's growing her brain.
To be honest, it's not me really. I think her family are not taking it seriously. The final bold bit in the email is, how can I get the people closest to me to stop laughing at my decision to learn Dutch and instead see it as a positive, empowering hobby for my own self-improvement? And then it says, Ik hou van de podcast. That's Dutch for I love the podcast. She
Okay,
did
she got it
say
in the
it.
end. She got
Smashed
in the
it.
end. Well, the first bit of advice I would give her is, if this is a problem, you've got to maybe write to a podcast and get some advice.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
And there are many out there that do it. Apparently,
Many out there. So if I can address you directly, write to a podcast. Try and get some advice. Someone you trust, maybe. Someone who's invested in you as a person. Someone who loves you. And until you find one, do a line.
So you're going to be getting that emailed into your
No
show
one was
now.
impressed by the Dutch thing.
I was. I noticed.
What did it mean?
It says you're alone.
Oh.
Oh.
To be honest, I made it up.
Oh.
But it sounded convincing enough.
Yeah, it was quite good. Yeah.
We've got another one in here from
Another listener's problem?
Yes, from my brother Tom.
Oh.
He says,
lovely.
I'm a huge fan of Danny Wallace, but not so much this podcast. I have always felt like I'm in the shadow of my older brother, and I wonder what I can do to stop that being the case.
Wow.
From Tom.
He's very muscular though. That's better than you.
He is muscular.
Is he?
And he's got a hot tub and a BMW.
And a
And a
child.
good job and a child. So I would say I've only got this podcast.
Well, that's what was the question?
How can I step
what
out
was-
of my brilliant brother's shadow?
I think
basically?
you're out of it.
Yeah.
I think you're out of it. You know, your brother goes camping. He parks way out of London, which is weird.
Acton.
He told me that earlier.
Yeah.
He parks
Oh, man.
very far out of London. He spends his time again in a cave last used by foxes, reading out your emails. The guy's obsessed with you.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Um,
Now, your problem.
did you bring
Yeah.
a problem?
I got a problem.
Yeah.
When I'm under pressure, I don't know how to walk.
Oh, what does that mean?
It means I forget how to walk. I don't stand still. I still move, but I'm very conscious of the way I'm walking.
What kind of pressure?
Let's say I'm late meeting friends at a train station concourse. There they are. They're all waving at me. I've got to get through the crowd towards them, and I do my initial wave, and they wave back, and I go, I'll be there in a second. And as I'm weaving and walking towards them and all eyes are upon me, what do I do with my hands? Are my shoulders too taut? Am I lolloping? Sometimes I catch sight of myself as I walk towards a building in the double doors, and I think I'm lolloping. So what can I do?
What's
in order,
lolloping?
Just like I'm all bits and bobs.
I feel like you've always got a bag with you. Is that fair to say?
Well, sometimes. Today, for example, yes, I have a bag.
I feel like you've always got quite a lot of bits.
You're psychic.
No, I'm just saying. Maybe you've got to make sure that the weight is evenly distributed in the bag.
Yeah, but even when I'm free and easy, I'm even wearing a body warmer, so my arms are free. You know, they're my tools, but I just don't know what to.
You're not a hands in the pockets kind of a fellow.
I feel that sends the wrong message as well if I'm
Does
walking
it?
all with my hands in my pockets. Mooching
One is
around.
good though.
One looks pretty cool, pretty damn cool. I could hook my thumbs into my belt loops. Look like a little
Does
cowboy.
anyone do that?
Well, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
throw
Or you
some
could go
ideas out
for
there.
a sort of partridge blazer over one shoulder.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Coquettish.
Skip up the stairs.
If you sprint, that will stop you thinking about it.
Sprinting is good, but you feel like you've committed a crime. There was a man who used to, well, it was my mate's dad, and he would get home from the office about 5, wearing
That's
his cream shirt, his brown slacks, and his office shoes. And he'd get home, and then he'd immediately break into a run and run really fast around the street. Just a man in normal civilian clothes. And that was his exercise. That was his jogging. He didn't have any jogging. My mum once, out of the kindness of her heart, bought him some white socks. And I didn't hear this until about 25 years later, but my mate was telling me the other day, he just went, when your mum gave my dad some white socks, he was disgusted.
So he wanted to be smart when he was running.
Well, he saw no difference in running attire and civilian attire.
Right.
He just run, and he'd always look like you'd see him on Crime Watch.
Had he not tried it on? Maybe
Tried
on some jogging bottoms, and
it just wasn't for him.
Was he running in shoes?
Yeah.
Oh no! That's dangerous, isn't it? You
not
could
good.
slip.
I would think so, but it wasn't our main concern. Our main concern was, why is that man running? What's he running away from?
Around.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a childhood trauma that brings me back to
right.
my walking. I don't know.
Okay.
How do you walk? What's your walk? How do you describe it?
That's a good question.
I used
I
to
try
walk
and
on my
keep it-
tiptoes as a kid, and then basically got told to walk normally.
Yeah, I
Why
did
did
that.
you
a
do
little
that?
bit.
I don't know, just as how I.
Always.
Like, you see people that like bounce
Oh,
along,
yeah.
and then I sort of grew out of it.
Probably ADHD.
luckily.
It could be.
Yeah.
Because I was learning Dutch.
I'm very focused on my posture because I've got a bad posture, so I walk and try and have it straight, arms by the side.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, like that, like a doll.
Yeah.
I think nobody is like looking at you going, "Why is he walking?"
No,
like
they
that?"
are. They are. I've heard
Oh.
people talk about it.
You see?
Have you seen it on X?
Yeah, I've seen it
Yeah.
on X.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of people. A lot of
I've
DJ
seen it on
chatter.
Rumble.
Yeah, there's
Do
a
you know
lot on
Rumble?
Rumble. I got a lot of enemies on Rumble.
Rumble's like where a lot of right wing people do their videos because
Oh,
they
right.
think it won't be allowed on YouTube.
Right. Okay. I did.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
You'll find out soon enough. You'll both be on Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this should
Don't
should
get-
be.
don't
on
get
Why
your
are we
dad
not
on
uploading
Rumble.
this onto?
There's a point.
Upload this onto Rumble.
We could do a right wing episode. Anyway, not now. We'll have a meeting.
His dad would love it.
Hands in pockets is good.
Yes.
Thinking about posture will make you focus on something else. I think.
When did you notice your posture was bad?
Oh, ages ago. Like I slouched. I had a personal trainer for a bit who I said the focus, like one of the things I need to fix my posture, and it does help doing all the stuff and trying to keep straight posture. And then you think about it all the time because I just slouch. It's always been a problem.
Well, I hope
Yours is all right.
I've got quite a casual demeanour today.
Good.
Apparently, there's walking therapy that you can do that will not only make you actually taller, but
you
it
wanna
will
be
make you
taller?
feel better about yourself. Would you do a course in walking?
Is it one of your courses that will be £4,500?
Yeah, it's one of Bilal's.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
do Bilal's
Okay.
walking course.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a special offer today if you use the code Walk with Bilal.
What do I
It's
get?
20% off.
20%.
I'll add you to a Telegram link.
Please.
Do you know Chris Moyles?
Do I know him? Does anyone truly know Chris Moyles?
Do you
The-
hang
I don't
out
think
with
Chris
him?
Moyles
Is
knows
he
Chris
still
Moyles.
Radio X? I'm sorry.
He is still at Radio
Right,
X.
yeah.
Yes.
Is he the breakfast? show,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't really know him. I've talked to him a few times. At one point, a mutual friend of ours added us both to video games.
Oh, right.
And so I was playing Call of Duty one day with Chris Moyles,
Yeah.
and it was funny because there were loads of angry children playing, and he had Chris Moyles, one of the most famous voices in the country. Sort of taking the mick out the kids, and the kids, because they didn't know it was Chris Moyles,
Yeah.
showed him no respect whatsoever. We're just having a verbal, there was a
Shooting at
verbal
him.
battering and shooting
Yeah.
at the nation's sweetheart.
Am I right in thinking that you are the voice of the Trip campaign?
No, not really.
You're one of them, though, was you not?
Yeah. So,
right, okay, because
yeah.
I've got a feature based on that, so I hope
Oh,
that,
you
that was you.
do?
Yeah.
well, you must check your tyres before any lengthy journey, Joey.
Yeah, there we go. See,
If you're going
now-
to be parking up somewhere, you've got to give those tyres a good kick before you do, and always remember to go to the toilet at the service stations.
Yeah.
That, I think, is the main thrust of the Trip campaign.
It is use the service stations more.
Yeah, use them.
Oh, is that what it is?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
did that
On the
campaign.
highways agency.
But I've also had some unusual ones in the past. For a while, I was the voice of Traffic Radio, which was a short-lived digital radio station devoted entirely to traffic.
Wow.
So it was just traffic news constantly. And I met this bloke in a bar, and he asked me to do it. And he said, "If you do it, I'll give you a trip in my helicopter." And I said, "I don't want that, but I'll do.
I do
I'll do
want
that
money.
anyway." So they gave me the lines to read, and they were great. It would go traffic radio,
Was that his helicopter?
maybe, and then I would have to go From the B roads and trunk routes of Britain, this is Traffic Radio. It's in sort of, a lot of commercial stuff. You don't normally mention B roads and trunk routes, so I
No.
was pleased to be
Get that out.
something
Get ticked
of
off your
a-
list.
Yeah, something of a pioneer.
So we have a feature called Guest to Impress, where I come up with a feature based on our guest of the
Okay,
day.
great.
Today it's you, Danny Wallace.
Great.
And this feature, in homage to your trip campaign,
Thank you.
it's
That's
called
some recognition.
Where's Wallace?
Okay, good.
Okay. I'm going to give you some hypothetical situations. You have to tell me where in the world do you think you are?
Brilliant.
Okay. It's a good place to shop, especially when the weather is bad. It has a lot of quality shops, and it's always clean and tidy. There's plenty of parking nearby, or you can just hop on a bus. Where are you, Danny Wallace?
Oh, gosh. I mean, that's wonderful. Am I in Westfield Shopping Centre, Stratford?
I'm afraid you are in Bexley Heath Broadway shopping centre.
Oh, yes.
Okay, next one. You're in a flat with lots of mold and bad internet. Where are you?
I don't know your address.
It's Bilal's old flat, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a rough time.
A little
of
bit
my
mouldy,
life.
was it?
Oh, awful.
dear.
Made me very unwell.
Mm.
Yeah.
Danny, you're on the worst flight of your life. The connecting flight's also late. There's no help from the ground staff. The food is horrible, and there's no refreshments. Nightmare.
Mm.
Who are you flying with?
Oh, it could be anyone really these days. Am I right?
Am I right?
I'm drawn to Luton Airport, and that then brings me to EasyJet, but I don't want to go Route 1. Am I on Aeroflot?
No, you're on British Airways.
Oh, standards have slipped.
Yeah. You're served a super dirty glass for drinks, and then when you ask for cleaner ones, the staff roll their eyes at you. Then you ask for straws, but are told that there aren't any straws left in the building, only to see the table next to you afterwards be given 2 straws.
You're joking.
I don't expect super service in this place, but here, even the basics are missing. Very poor. Where are you?
TGI Friday, Leicester Square.
I'm afraid you're in the Finchley Nando's.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. One more.
You don't
Sounds-
expect that from a conglomerate.
No.
One
A
more.
brand name.
One more of these. I suppose it's better than nothing with the usual brands like M&S, Boots, and Wilkinson's,
Oh.
Sainsbury's, JD Sports, and TK Maxx. But if you've been to Blue Water, 10 minutes down the road, or Lakeside, or any of the Westfields, you will realise how basic and dated this place is.
Yeah, I'm back at Bexley.
You're back at Bexley Heath
Yeah,
shopping centre.
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can taste
That was Where's Wallace?
That's
That's
lovely.
a really
Not bad,
good
eh?
feature.
You've taken me to some awful places.
Yeah. He's from Bexley Heath.
Okay.
I think I told you that I was watching. We were away. Me and my wife were away somewhere. We did like
Did
a
you go
little
to
spa holiday. No, it
no.
was like near Canterbury. It was okay, but I was watching. There wasn't like. I think there wasn't good Wi-Fi there on purpose, and I downloaded
sorry.
on YouTube
Yeah.
this random documentary about Sid Vicious. I don't know why,
The wrestler?
and it was your voiceover. But it
Oh,
was
yeah.
so weird hearing you do that because it sounded like you were mocking the whole thing because I know you. And you would say things like he was high on drugs.
Yeah.
It sounded like a parody.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
what that was. Was it the Final 24?
I think so.
Yeah. So that was part of a deal I had, I think, with Sky at the time, where
You would narrate anything.
they would come to me and they go, we've bought this show, but it's got like a Canadian documentary voiceover to
Oh,
it.
is that how it works?
So there'd be a really gruff man going, he was high on drugs. He was chasing the dragon. And I had to read it to time, so I couldn't
Oh,
I couldn't
really?
like rewrite it. So I would sound like I was mocking it because it would just be
Yeah.
phrases I would never use.
Oh, I didn't realize that's how they that
And
makes
you
sense.
downloaded that to watch at a spa weekend with your
I
You
don't
girlfriend.
really
you decided
remember.
on a potentially romantic spa
Yeah.
holiday.
Both
You looked-
naked, of course.
Because it's not just a Sid Vicious documentary. It is specifically about the last 24 hours of his life as the clock ticks down towards his death.
Quite sexy.
And you were like, this is what I need. This is what we should use our Wi-Fi
No
on.
wonder the poor love's learning Dutch, crying out loud.
She's trying to escape and she doesn't know where to go.
I don't don't remember. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you for doing it.
Not at all. There was a few I did, all about the deaths of
The
famous
last 24
people.
hours of people,
Yeah, it's
right?
bleak.
I also really like, because you just get the tone of your voice if you've listened to any of your radio shows, with the way that you sometimes will introduce music on Radio X. Like, you really don't want to have to play it.
You got to play more Kasabian, though.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of those tracks more than almost anyone in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's every now and again when the playlist is refreshed, and the playlist is always tested,
Right.
scientifically, and it seems to work because the numbers go up. But Muggins here, I've got to listen to the same records quite a lot, which is a pleasure.
How do you test that scientifically? I don't think we've really got time to go into this, but
Yeah, I don't know. They get a bunch of people. It's like a focus group, basically. Most people are supposed to listen to the radio only for 20 minutes. That's the thing. You listen in 20-minute bursts. And if you hear 3 things that are familiar and that you enjoy, you'll be like, oh, I'll keep it on, that station. Whereas lots of people, I think particularly since lockdown, leave the radio on all day.
for the dog.
For the dog. So you might hear, the same things.
Right.
Are you leaving it on for your wife?
For my wife.
Yeah.
For your wife. How lovely.
So she thinks I'm at home.
Dutch talk radio.
Do you get to pick songs ever to play, or is it just fully playlists?
It's fully playlisted. In the old days, you would be able to pick. I think we were allowed on breakfast. You were allowed to pick like 1 an hour that you could really sort of sell yourself. When I did 6 music breakfast or 6 music Saturdays, there was a lot more freedom. You could add in a couple.
Oh.
Which was good. I don't know if they still do that. And no, I remember though once doing breakfast and the whole studio stopped. Everything stopped working, but we were still
live
on air, and we had no music to go to, nothing we could go to, and that's when you are supposed to put on the emergency CD. And so we found the emergency CD, but it was useless because it just says emergency CD on it. So I asked people to text in and choose a track number from the emergency CD, and we would play it. And lots of people chose different ones. We selected track 11, so I was just introducing it, going, here we go then. This is track 11 of the emergency CD. Started playing it, and then I have to work out what the hell it is. And go, it's School's Out for Summer. There you go. And that was
R. Kelly, cancel that.
Yeah. And so that was one of the only times I've really chosen what to play next.
Are you scared of the Radio X listenership?
No.
They seem like quite a scary...
You scared of heights?
They're really smart and they're really funny and they get ideas and they join in. It's a really good thing. I think if you were doing this live and then you had a screen where people could, a little like Twitch, then you would have such good fun.
Yeah, it would feel less forced.
But you can have an idea and then they contribute to it and then it becomes this bigger thing, which is fun.
What's your favourite 2 colours that you mix together and you get a surprise? Like, I didn't expect that.
Gosh, that's a good... It's years since I've been asked that. I think I was asked that in primary school last.
You don't have to answer.
Well, the blue and yellow always makes a wonderful green.
That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you really wanted to ask that?
Yeah. I had it in my notes.
When was the last time you wore a stiff collared shirt?
What's a stiff collared shirt?
Well,
like
it's all there
With a
for
collar.
Like a just... yeah.
A shirt with a
Oh,
collar.
but I didn't know you call it that. I went to a wedding last week.
Okay.
Wore a 3-piece suit.
You did?
The suit I got married in, because why not?
Well, why not indeed?
Why not?
Bring luck to somebody else.
What colour is the suit? Is there
It's like a dark blue kind of.
Lovely.
That's it, yeah.
You're not a risk taker?
No.
What about the lining?
Of the suit?
Yes?
It's also a blue. It's not anything that funky.
A lighter blue, I imagine.
I think so.
Maybe a satin.
It's got many little pockets, and let
Really?
me tell you, that's a treat.
Lots of pockets.
Yeah.
Too many pockets?
The wedding had donuts instead of a wedding cake.
That's all right.
I had to.
I don't know.
But you don't drink, so,
No.
You're already saving on the calories.
I did cocaine, though.
You did?
Okay, that's good.
Well, it's a wedding.
I feel like I did have something I actually wanted to ask you, but listen, thank you very much. It's great to finally meet you. Me and Danny did things, for people that don't know, over lockdown together.
Sounds
It
weird.
does sound weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot
Really?
of things. Yeah.
I'm meeting Danny for the first time, and I feel like maybe me and him have hit it off more than
I
you
really
two, so
messed
I
up
feel
the
like maybe-
intro. I mean, I could have
Bilal,
used things from my
Bilal
mind.
you were for the longest time. You were my only OnlyFans subscriber.
Yeah.
and I learned some things about you.
Mm.
I learned some things about you.
If you're worried about going down a seedy rabbit hole on the internet, then do check out Danny's book.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody Told Me, which is out now, and not, as his website says, for pre-order. It is actually out.
It's out.
You doing another book after this?
What, after this podcast?
Yeah. You doing another book after this podcast?
Yeah, I just don't know how long they take. That's all.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Get another 2,000 words down.
Easy. If I use that medication.
Seriously. Yeah.
No, honestly though, it's been such a wonderful treat to have you
Thanks
on
for
the
having
podcast. So
me.
thanks for coming to do it. I know
Not at
you're
all.
far too busy to come and hang out with us. So
Thanks for the hottest coffee I've ever had.
Yeah. I mean, I can't take any
No, it's nothing to do
plaudits
with
for
you.
that, but
No.
yeah, you're welcome.
Anything else you want to promote?
No, I
You
don't think
don't
it'll
need
help.
That's fair. Thank you so much.
Do you know what I once did? They told me, they said, go on Loose Women. Loose Women sells books. And so I went on Loose Women.
Did you?
Yeah, I've been on 2 or 3 times, I think. And I didn't want to go on this time. And I thought, this isn't for them. And I'm there. I think I was having to bounce around on a, what are those things that you sit on?
Space Hopper.
Space Hopper with Jay McDonald or something.
Oh.
And afterwards, I checked the Amazon ranking of my book. And it had gone down. It's like a load of people saw me on it and went, cancel that. Return that book. That book has just arrived. Send it back.
Well, let's
I
hope you
think much
just
the
stay
same will
where you
happen here.
are.
So I won't promote
Yeah.
anything as a form of damage control.
Well,
Sure.
I'm hoping that you just stay where you are. That would be a good result for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for listening.
If you're joining us for the first time and you've enjoyed it, then please do review us or just click subscribe. Oh, fuck off, you do it.
Don't forget to hit that. Don't forget
So-
to smash that like and subscribe, guys.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Danny wants you to do it.
That's great. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.